Hello, this is Chiak. We are back with Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper. From what I can gather, I am only halfway through this game, and it's quite a. I'm trying to think if the Sherlock Holmes game's always been as long as it was, or I keep missing on certain things. Okay, come on, let's spacebar this. I can't remember what I'm supposed to be doing. Check the ceiling. No, so really, all I can do is leave. But seriously, I can't remember what I was supposed to be doing. Watson, I hope you don't mind me invading your... You know what? Yeah, how often do you actually stay here? Because... I'm sorry, is that a... That is. Remember, you're a doctor, Watson. Don't imagine you're here often because you're married. As understanding as your wife is, I'm not sure she'll be that understanding.
I must go to the Central News Agency.
Well, goodbye then.
Okay, Jess. Thanks, Watson. Central News Agency.
I must go to the Central News Agency.
Oh, right. So we need to...
I'm at the press agency where bullying works.
We need to help Squibby out. There's bullying over there. Is that the only thing? Don't mind me. I'm just going to peruse this right now. It's a mirror. Never mind. It wasn't anything important.
I would imagine these are compartments to organize the paper's incoming dispatches. Queen Victoria, to keep the journalists on their toes, I suppose.
Here's a question. If you identify yourself as Sherlock Holmes... Oh no, okay, good. Well, let's see what happens.
What do you want?
It would be very informative to search Bulling's desk before meeting him, but first I must get rid of this bothersome person, perhaps by offering him a scoop.
Okay. How about that?
Good evening. I'm looking for Tom Bulling, the journalist.
He isn't here. He must be sleeping off somewhere. He gave me a tip. He wanted to save a scoop for me. He always gets a good dirt, and yet when he comes in here, it's just to warm his behind. Look, he pulled his desk over the stove.
Listen, Scoop, I'm bringing it over. Only if Bulling isn't here, I'm leaving.
Wait, what's this scoop?
Bulling promised me a reward for info. There's a charlatan who does spiritualist seances that are a little bit special. He steals corpses from the morgue, puts makeup on them, dresses them up, and then uses them as puppets.
I'll give you your dues. We'll pay you if this info is true.
I'll write down the address of the hideout on the crook's leaflet, but the police will be in on this one, so you better get there in time.
Understood. I'll go alone. Too bad for Bulling.
Hey, you wouldn't have a little something in advance?
Look on Bulling's desk. I know that he always leaves a few coins around for his snitches. Cheers.
Watson won't be pleased that I'm divulging the case, but I don't see any other way.
Okay. So we need to... Thank you for identifying, sir. Which one is Bulling's desk? Oh my god. Let's get closer there. Permit me to defend myself against the slanderous accusations brought against me. You were not lied to regarding the facts. Mr. Bulling spends all of his time in the most audacious of pubs, but I am only doing my work as a journalist. It is during these outings that I can find the best information because I am thus in contact with the common man. Let me prove to you, dear boss, that I can bring to this agency what it deserves, the most extraordinary and the most stimulating information for... And then it cuts off there.
Even handwriting, yet fairly recognizable. This is Bulling's desk, the one closest to the stove. Some coins. I will take them. That will avoid suspicion if the journalist returns.
Okay.
This may come in handy.
Let's see what else.
A charred match. These are Bulling's notes. They are of little interest at the moment, but one never knows.
What else is there? Oh, the stove.
The fire has almost gone out, but the stove is still burning hot. Bulling recently used the stove.
Okay. I owe you... Oh, we can't... Interesting. So we can't read it. Yeah, no, we can't read it. So, nothing of importance. Ah, cloth. The stove is still hot.
A torn piece of blotting paper. Curious. Curious. It looks like someone wanted to destroy this piece of blotting paper that had red ink on it. I can make out a few more letters, but backwards. I need something to help me.
Hold on, what? Nope, that's... not that. This. Okay. So... let's go into first person point of view. Ah, the mirror. Mr. Moore, I have noticed that one of your employees, Thomas Bowling, arrived at the meeting in a state of inebriation. I must ask you to take care of your team's discipline. I know that you indulged this journalist given the explosive information that he manages to flesh out, but this behavior is unacceptable. This should not repeat itself or I will hold you personally responsible. The assistant director.
Bulling's boss, Mr. Moore, seems to be protecting the journalist.
Well, he's giving them news. Okay, so let's... Honestly, you should be able to read this backwards.
By putting this piece of blotting paper in front of the mirror, I can read what is written.
Information on the Whitechapel killer call by telephone WA.
Apparently, our journalist gets his information by telephone too. Sadly, the name is almost erased.
Okay. Is there anything else here? This is director.
I need more information.
Okay, so we're still trying to... Like, what else am I doing here? I'm like...
A mirror.
Okay. Huh. So we can't leave
I would
yet.
imagine these are compartments. I would imagine these are compartments to all...
Oh, the phone.
If I telephone one of Bulling's contacts pretending to be his assistant, I might learn something of interest.
Walesby, I am listening.
Hello, my dear man. I'm calling on behalf of Tom Bulling.
Bulling? So you know where this hypocrite, this liar, this...
Not at all. He is currently unobtainable. In the meantime, he has left me with a note asking me to pursue his work, and he told me that you were aware...
That's just great. I dropped everything off at his agency, but he didn't even bother to do the same for me. Tell me he at least gave you the information that I was asking in return.
I am ready, sir. I'm listening.
Do the police have a suspect for the bizarre theft of cigarettes and carrots that took place at the Commercial Street Market?
What in the world? Do I combine these two together? Okay, but seriously, how am I supposed to read this? Because I'm assuming everything's on this piece of paper, but... read this. So what am I supposed to do with it? Okay, maybe let's just try out the puzzle and hope something comes about. Because I honestly don't know.
I would imagine these are compartments to... I would imagine these are compartments to all...
Okay. I
am ready, sir. I'm listening.
Do the police have a suspect?
okay, first off, let's see if I can leave.
I need more information.
No, he still needs more information. First, you'll have to find answer written down on paper. They're probably on Bowling's desk. What you need are Bowling's notes, which are in front of the typewriter. You have to piece together to answer. You can't actually read Bowling's notes, so you'll have to figure out the answer yourself. Pay close attention to the current question, then see which answer parts might have something to do with it. Do the police have a suspect for the bizarre theft of cigarettes and carrots that took place at the commercial street? Okay, well, carrots would make me think of rabbit. Scotland Yard? Commercial. Maybe it's actually this way around. No? Okay. Okay, so it has to be this one when he comes home from work. Goes around circles, makes a lot of noise. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know. This one, according to a government social study. When he comes home from work, a civil servant... See, I don't know, like, he could just be making a jab at someone, but this one could be... This one's...
I believe I can confirm that it is, because civil servants aren't tired and have already read the paper when they come home from work.
Very true. Good. It seems like Bulling has finally done his work.
As everything is all in order, can you now tell me where the information is that you sent to the agency?
Yes. There is a large brown envelope near the dispatch cabinet. It's in there that we exchange our tips with Bulling.
1,000 thanks. Goodbye, sir.
My salutations to Bulling.
I thought I already did that one, but I guess maybe I didn't.
I would imagine these are compartments.
Okay, yes. Ah, here we go.
There are several documents in this file. Let's see.
Okay, notes on Spring-Heeled Jack, the Terror of London, fantastical character, first appearance 1837, associated with several suspicious muggings and robberies taking place in London and other parts of England. Description: a diabolical appearance, bat's wings, horns, blue flames coming out of the mouth and or eyes, etc. Identifying marks: all of the eyewitnesses speak of his capacity to make leaps of superhuman distance, where his nickname... conclusion: having become the very example of the urban legend of our century, this character fascinates as much by his demonic and fantastical aura as by the fact that he has never been caught by the police. Important: at the time of the attacks against the young women, Lucy Scales and Jane Aslop, the papers covering the events had recorded sales for weeks. That's why Spring-Heeled Jack is the recurring hero of cheap fantasy publications and theater pieces. Popular and financial success guaranteed.
I wonder why Bulling is studying this tale about Spring-Heeled Jack so meticulously.
Terror of London, Spring-Heeled Jack, the Phantom Killer, the Butcher's Blade, the Whitechapel Butcher, Dr. Death, the London Ripper, the Bleeder, the Bloody Reaper. He's trying to come up with names.
What does that mean?
He's trying to come up with names, which I believe they do not do anymore. Mr. Charles Moore, I thank you for this testimony of the Whitechapel Killer that you followed. Not easy authentication. Do not hand over to the press without my invitation. Thank you for your collaboration and forget discretion. We won't forget this. Inspector Aberline. Oh.
Well, a piece of information about the murders transmitted exclusively to the police without informing the press. That has piqued my curiosity. Perhaps I should go to the police station to get more information.
Tom, about the letter. Given the thanks from Inspector Aberline, I think that they took the baits, even if they were defending themselves. Think of the second. We must be ready if he kills again. Either way, we must keep up the correspondence, be responsive. This idea will save us. We will get the information firsthand and we will make history. But stay quiet and keep a low profile. I am not really in the know and you will be the first one who gets it if there's trouble. CM.
What does that mean? I've inspected everything, but there's no sign of Bulling. He must have dashed off to his HQ, the Wasp's Nest. However, before I go to see him, I should find out about this mysterious information. It could help me get something out of the journalist. To the police station, then.
Okay. Here we go.
Let's go to the police station.
Yeah, Sherlock, we are already right here in front of me. There we go. As long as the title cards will go away.
Come. Back again, are we? Come this way, good man. The inspector has a few questions to ask you. Here is the man, Inspector.
Congratulations, Humphreys. So, my lad, one would say that you owe us a bit of an explanation for having left something with us. What is your full name and profession?
Sherlock Holmes, consulting detective.
Well, how about that?
Mr. Holmes, can you explain this get-up, your presence in the neighbourhood despite my instructions, as well as this most opportune restitution of jewels?
Firstly, I should tell you that not being under your command, I never understood what you said as an order, but rather as advice. I thought I would be wise to follow them to a certain extent. I intended to explain the stolen goods sooner or later. My presence here will allow me to fill you in on a few conclusions that...
If it is in regard to the Whitechapel murders, it won't help us much. We have no doubt that we will be revealing the identity of the murderer to the people in the area in a day or two.
I'm impressed, Inspector, and I offer you my sincerest congratulations. Nonetheless, you should investigate a certain doctor.
Listen, Holmes, let us do our work. You've rid us of a great pain in the rear end by finding those jewels for us. It's weeks of work that you've saved us. But I think you're a little underqualified for a case like that of Jack the Ripper. Until it's over, I demand that you do not set foot in the area. Is that clear?
I take note of your advice, Inspector. You mentioned Jack the Ripper. Pardon me, but you know the name of the murderer?
Oh, it's from a letter that the Central News Agency sent our way. It was written by the killer. And even if it can't be proven, it must be recognised that the signature is striking. This information is confidential, and I would ask you to keep it to yourself, Holmes.
Can I have a little look? Out of mere curiosity, Inspector. Then I shall disappear.
In that case, I don't see any objection.
Thank you so much.
Share? Patron, I keep on hearing the police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet. I've laughed when they look so clever and talk about being on the right track. That joke about leather apron gave me real fits. I am down on whores, and I shan't quite quit ripping them till I do get buckled. Grand work the last job was. I gave the lady no time to squeal. How can they catch me now? I love my work and I want to start again. You will soon hear of me with my funny little games. I saved some of the proper red stuff in a ginger beer bottle over the last job to write with, but it went thick like glue and I can't use it. Red ink is fit enough, I hope. Haha. The next job I shall clip the lady's ears off and send to the police officers just for jolly, wouldn't you? Keep this letter back till I do a bit more work, then give it out straight. My knife's so nice and sharp. I want to get to work right away if I get a chance. Good luck. Yours truly, Jack the Ripper. Don't mind me giving the trade name. P.S. Want good enough to post this before I got all the red ink off my hands. Curse it. No luck yet. They say I'm a doctor now. Haha. So,
me? Not up to discovering who Jack the Ripper is? Well, we'll soon find out, won't we, Inspector Aberline? I know who wrote the Dear Boss letter signed Jack the Ripper that Inspector Aberline gave me, and, above all, I now know why. This Tom Bulling was inspired by this fantastical character to build a myth out of the Whitechapel Killer. Perhaps he would be receptive if I shared my discovery about him and prevent him from accusing Squippy. I must find him at once. My best bet would be to try my luck at the pub.
okay. So, there was the infamous letter that I believe most people nowadays believe it's actually written by a journalist to create some sensationalism. Okay. No. Sorry, I kind of want to go over it. Okay, so I must leave you, Watson. This tumbling was inspired. Okay, so let's first person point of view. I know I could use my magical abilities of teleportation. Hello, why did everything stop there? Hey, Watson!
Ah, Holmes, I got your message, and here I am.
Perfect, Watson. That oaf Bluto is looking for us with evil intentions, and he may be hiding here. I will try to get more information inside. You, Watson, will be our lookout, and at the slightest suspicious sound, do not hesitate to call the constable on his rounds.
Okay. Just seeing if there's anything else.
Yes, sir?
Good evening, Mr. Bulling.
We know each other?
No, however, I have some information that may be of interest to you.
Talk, my friend. A pint for you if what you say is worth something. Does it have to do with the Whitechapel murders?
Indeed, I know the identity of the man who wrote a letter to the police, a letter entitled Dear Boss, in which the author claims to be the Whitechapel murderer and is signed Jack the Ripper.
What?
It's a journalist who was inspired by Spring-Heeled Jack in order to strengthen the credibility and the seriousness of his agency. This new Jack will give him some first-hand information that he, in turn, will dole out sparingly to the authorities, as well as some carefully distilled indiscretions that the big papers will come to beg of him. He plays both sides off against one another and becomes the chief orchestrator of the rumour. He wrote this letter in this very spot, and he has red ink on his fingers. Like you.
What exactly are you after, my friend?
You've been threatening a certain Squibby to distribute a telegram naming him as a possible suspect in these murders in revenge for an old feud. I would suggest you don't write this note, and that you leave Squibby alone.
I'd forgotten about the existence of that rapscallion. I threw that at him when I was visiting the station to get the dope. You should have seen his face.
You must also stop sending these letters that waste the authorities' precious time.
Right, well, I don't even know what you're talking about. I have a great relationship with the Bobbies. Just ask around. I don't have to answer to nobody. Now leave me alone.
Farewell, sir.
Good riddance.
Hey, you wouldn't be the gas man that Bluto's looking for.
Don't know him.
Okay.
Let's hurry to the police station, Watson. We are close to our goal. Squibby will be able to reveal what he knows about Tumblety. Squibby! So that's it. You're a free man again. We were just coming to the station to find you.
Yeah, the Bobbies agreed to let me go, and I came to see Bluto before ferreting you out. So, you've seen the newspaper man?
Yes, he is in the pub and everything is taken care of, but I'm waiting to hear what you have to say about Dr. Tumblety.
Okay, but we have to be quick. One night, I goes to see Bluto in his hideout that ain't far from the boarding house where this Tumblety bloke has a room. I see him coming in too. He must have been on one real binge. To the point, the Tumblety fella was there, and he smiles at me, all nice like. He tells me he's a great Yankee doctor, but my business interests him. I'm interested, I tell him, but I'm not the type to just jump right in without getting to know a person, see? He invites me round to his room to talk business, just him and me. We empty a bottle or two, and all of a sudden, like, he wants to show me what he's got in this big trunk that he always carts around places. I just about vomited, see? In these jars, just like pickles, you know, there were pieces of meat. And he whispers that it's the lady bits of some old dames. He called them peckymins. I call them love killers, I would. Yuck! After that, he starts to go on about rich folk. They ain't nothing but dogs, and I won't tell you the worst of it. Then he comes all close to me and puts his sweaty hand on my leg. He was one of them types, not me. I don't wait a second before I give him a good thrashing, and I start running and let go of him, and he still wants to see me again just to talk business. But then I had to do time, so business.
Do you know where he can be found?
Why, ain't he in his digs? Maybe he got to liking life behind bars too. I heard that in some jobs there's a way to.
Thank you for your information, and we'll meet again, my friend. Here is the sum I promised to get you out of London.
Ciao, fella. I've just got a little score to settle with Bluto, and I'm heading for the country.
Lipsky!
My dear Watson, we must strike while the iron is hot. We have avoided meeting Dr. Tumblety until now. The time has come to do so.
Do you have an opinion, Holmes?
We must assure ourselves that the factor collector of female organs and a murderer who removes said organs are resident in the same area at the same time is nothing more than coincidence.
Okay. I don't know what the beginning part
I
was.
thought that you wouldn't bring me back your keys. Oh, it's you, Mr. Holmes. Good evening, Dr. Watson.
Indeed, it is I again. One of your tenants left without returning his keys?
Yes, it's Dr. Tumblety whom we spoke about. Shortly after your last visit here, some constables came and asked me a few questions regarding him. Barely had they left than the doctor came barreling around a street corner and rushed up into his room upstairs. A little while afterwards, while I was tidying,
I heard a thud in his room and a rush down the stairs. He left with most of his bags, but without returning his keys. You can go up and see if you wish. The door is still open.
Okay.
Careful, Watson. Do not walk around here until I've inspected these marks.
I know, Holmes, I know. I understand your methods. Ah, you have your rule and magnifying glass. I thought that you had forgotten them, Holmes.
I never forget the essentials, my dear Watson.
And looks like I actually had to end the set here. So, thank you for liking if you like. Thank you for commenting if you commented. Thank you for subscribing if you subscribed. Thank you for favoriting if you favorited. And thank you for simply clicking on this video. Until next time, guys. See ya!